For some reason, they wanted to put careless whispers with this, and that would have been hilarious. But at any rate, so many things to try to relay. But people are starting to get a little nervous. I'm starting to get comments like, is this scaring you? Is this worrisome? And I can totally understand why you would be asking that. So I wanted to explain a little more about the hypothesis that I had at the beginning of the year, that I expected this storm to come, and what I think is going to be happening over the next year or so as the solar cycle peaks. But no, this does not scare me, other than the risk to some people with health issues. I know you're probably like, why the weird freaking editing choice here? But that's because I wanted you to be able to see the measure on the right side of the magnitude of flares so that you can understand. So, a year ago, the baseline of activity on the sun, so what was pulsing all the time, the normal range was in the AB flare magnitude. And then in January, February, there was an uptick, and it settled in at a C flare baseline activity. And when this happened, I talked to the sun, did my thing, and then my brain kicks in, wherever it comes from, I don't know. But my theory is, my hypothesis was, is that as the solar cycle intensifies and will be peaking, they're saying 2025, but I don't think they're right. I think it's going to be early 2024. So what is happening, or what I believe is happening, is that we are slowly ratcheting up to a higher baseline of activity, so that when we are getting X flares out the wazoo, we are not as physically affected and flattened. Like we're basically building up an energy tolerance to all of this. So I will not be a bit surprised, and I'm really curious to see what happens after this storm, if we start to see that baseline ratchet up to closer to an M flare, so that those are more frequent and common, and we get adjusted to it, so that when the X flares start coming in later, which, by the way, there's a 15% chance of that today, that we have an X flare. But at any rate, that's what's happening, and that's why I'm not scared. Plus, I'll have to do another video now about the Carrington event, because that's a non-issue, and it would have to be off the charts on the peak to have any significant impact on Earth. So I hope that helps a little bit with everybody's fears.